Hi there. My name is Kululwa Mutwa and welcome to Property Market Moves. Today I am sitting with a construction queen.
I don't know if she's queening though.
We've used legend so many times. So I want to say, a queen, because yeah. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, my sis. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. So at the workplace, they know you as managing director. Some people just know you as, Jabu Serithi. But who are you?
Sure. That is the most pointed question it has, well, let me say this. It has ever been said in such a pointed manner, that question. Who are you? It's usually tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Direct, straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Jabu Serithi is a mother, first and foremost.
Yeah.
She is a wife, and she's a sister. She is a friend. And she is the managing director of a large construction company. And I take all of those roles seriously.
Yeah.
And all of those make up the sum of who you are with today.
Sure. Managing director of a massive construction company. Yes. Tell us about your journey.
Ooh, where did it begin? I don't want to reveal my age here. So we like to be holding it down, as our producer just told us. It started in early 2000s.
Okay.
I was fortunate to be one of the selected 2 students to be a protege with, unfortunately, one of the Big 5 that is since no longer in existence. And Mohammed and I became interns who got taken into this company, and studies were paid for us.
Yeah.
We paid our dues, and then in about 2005 I decided to make the move up to Gauteng, and 4 years later I then joined this company called GVK-Siyazama.
Wow.
That was in 2009.
Jeez.
And started my career with GVK as a senior QS.
Okay.
By the way, my career has always been founded on quantity surveying. And when I then joined GVK, I had become a senior quantity surveyor at that stage. And I worked my way up through the ranks, became a commercial director in 2015 and a group director in 2018, and eventually now also part of my portfolio being the managing director of the Gauteng business.
Okay. You started as an intern, and then 4 years later you got into GVK. And I think for me, I just latched onto when you mentioned that, because we struggle when placing, graduates as interns. With some, you'll get a group that is like seriously committed, right? But you also then will have a group that does not have the time to be an intern. They want to land, that high-paying job because there's so much expectations, I guess, on themselves and families on them. And 20 years ago, it was a valuable step towards creating an MD, 20 years later. So I'm hoping that, the young graduates watching will recognize the importance of that step.
I hope so too. And I wish I could say we didn't have a part in who they are now. We are the parents to most of those children. And, all things start. That's why I started off by defining myself as a mother.
Yeah.
All things start in how those children are molded and brought up. And it is our responsibility to mold them and prepare them for the real world. And I think, every generation has its traumas, they say, or its difficulties.
Sure.
I think maybe this particular generation's hurdle or challenge would be to systemically maybe remove that entitlement upbringing that we've instilled. I don't think it was intentional on our part. You want to instill confidence in children.
Yeah.
But the byproduct of that,
we don't balance it out with the realities.
Yes, of say that confidence must be backed with substance, and that substance you earn over time. You don't wake up being rightfully entitled to be an MD without putting in the work.
Sure.
And we're gonna slowly break it down as they enter the workplace, but it is going back, I suppose, 2 steps before we move a step forward.
Sure. Okay. So what does leading a massive construction business look like? I mean, what does it require of you?
My soul and then some. But in all seriousness, I think, it's a storyline. The business is alive and it has a pulse, and the pulse is its people. But the journey starts from that pipeline all the way through execution of projects, through people that you hope that you surround yourself with, share the same vision. So my job is to ensure that at every touch point, that space is created for those entrusted with the various role in this life cycle of feeding the pipeline down to execution, to make sure that it is done with excellence and with respect and care to those that it takes to achieve those milestones.
Okay. When we imagine construction, I mean, I looked at you coming in heels, right? I mean, we walk in heels, and then in construction, there are certain like barriers that come with a certain gender. Women have, well, it's a male-dominated industry first and foremost. I think much like many other careers, quite honestly. But I think then by its, rugged nature, it almost like, appeals to a particular gender, because women will still want to look pretty in a construction site. What barriers still exist for women in construction?
I wish I could show you this joke. Most, I think we created most. Maybe I'll take you outside of this question for a little bit.
Yeah.
What are wars ever fought for? Women. So, as with most things, this industry is attractive to the women who look at the men in it. Now you bring a woman into it, it kind of distorts the picture. It creates an imbalance, It's like, well, what just happened? But on all seriousness, the industry is not appealing to women.
Yeah.
It is not appealing from a quality of life.
Yeah.
And that's why you see there may be a lot of entrants, but they don't stay the course. And we hemorrhage a lot of beautiful skills that women bring to the industry, because it demands so much out of women, especially when you add the unsaid but very real roles we have outside of the work environment. Honey, where are my keys? You've got it's a full-time job of knowing
where someone's keys are.
There's a filing cabinet solely dedicated to that.
Or that 11-year-old who forgot his cricket kit.
Or maybe didn't forget it. They lost it and now they're on to the game, and you need to get into your car, get it, and still attend the game. So you've got to be able to constantly be okay with choosing to let someone or something down. And that's the
Sure.
choice we
Sure.
as women must be comfortable with, that at any one moment I have to prioritize something over something else.
Yeah. And I think when you're speaking to that, I mean, this concept of balance, right? Because we speak about it a lot.
Yes.
And we speak about it because we try to find it. And I think one sobering, I don't know who said it, was that there actually isn't such a thing.
Balance.
You just need to be fully present where you are in that moment.
Yes.
And forget about everything else. So when you are in that football ground watching your son, you forget about, you don't carry the guilt of what
you've left behind.
Yes, of what I've left behind in the office. You are fully present in that moment.
Yes.
And the next moment that requires you to be in your hard hat.
Yes.
And the next moment, because in all of these roles, if you come in, carrying that, oh, I'm taking away from, then you're not present in anything.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. But you do also, as I say, have to accept that you've got to choose those moments carefully.
Yeah.
And you've got to have the discernment to know that at this moment, I'm choosing to go watch my son.
And I'm going to disappoint. I'm going to drop something.
I'm going to have to park this.
Intentionally.
Yeah. And that's what I've learned over the years, that there is no balance. It is the 80-20 rule, essentially.
Whoa. Leadership has become, a very important topic. And I don't know, I guess for a range of reasons. For you, what leadership qualities do you think our generation requires?
Resilience. And my favorite one, agility. And I think when I say integrity, I think there's so much expectation that's placed on it. I think integrity in this context comes with honoring self and being consistent in always being your best self and applying your best self in every situation. So that, I suppose, talks to another quality that is a favorite of mine, excellence.
Sure.
So those are my go-to pillars that I source my strength from. Resilience. The industry is very testing. Every day you are tested in some form or another.
Sure.
And when you need to be agile enough to move in the direction that still takes you forward, whether it was not the planned one on the day, but be agile enough to realize what works.
Okay. Resilience, agility, integrity. Sure. And we live in times, I mean, where we've got so many things, right? There's corruption in your space. They are even coined the construction mafia.
Yes.
And how do you deal with all of these things outside of your your business? Yes, outside of your core, because they affect the core ultimately.
True. Behind all of those things are human beings. And when you approach a situation where you're being threatened and your life is being threatened, I've had quite a few instances where I got locked in on sites with guns being placed on the table and being told, you are not leaving until we get what we want. And what can you do in that moment? All you can do is to say, all right, you can do what you're threatening with, but you're not going to get the result out of this situation either if you go on to execute that threat. Or we can solve this as two adults. And at the end of the day, we do what's right for both parties. We both came here as businessmen and women with interest to make sure our businesses thrive.
Yeah.
So Either we speak as adults and get through the core issues without the threats, or you do what you need to and see where you end up. But it takes a certain level of courage, and it takes a certain level of self-assurance that nothing is going to happen. And there's a faith that comes with that it shall be what it shall be. And this is not going to be it.
My goodness. And I mean, in my mind, as you narrating this, I'm just picturing it, because in some instances, there will be numbers, right? The number of people who are carrying guns. So the numbers are intimidating. The guns are intimidating, and probably male. And in the South African context, there have been a lot of...
And not a lot of them also don't necessarily come from the industry. Some of them are ex-cons or ex-prisoners. Some of them come from the taxi industry, and they've realized that the barriers of entry into the industry don't exist.
Yeah.
But again, opportunities must indeed be taken by all those. We live in a democratic society, and it should be possible for anyone to partake in business.
Yeah.
But there should be no need to exercise violence.
Sure. So the country speaks of, and I mean, I know the president has pronounced a number of, sonas, infrastructure, the focus on infrastructure. The country's position to be infrastructure-led. But at the, in essence, do you think that as a country, we actually value, we understand the value that is placed in infrastructure and carry ourselves as such?
We were talking about it yesterday. I had the pleasure of being introduced to some pioneers in the industry who've seen it all.
Yeah.
Infrastructure is a foundation of many thriving economies.
Yeah.
And without that, you cannot even begin to look at opportunities that could be achieved. You look at where we're positioned in the country. Infrastructure says, if you wanted to build a office block or a shopping center in a much needed environment, the government or the leaders of the day need to have enabled business women like yourself through the provision of that infrastructure to be able to make that contribution and take that society forward. It is the heartbeat of constant investment. It starts with that infrastructure investment. And our country has got so much potential being positioned where it is in the SADC region and worldwide.
Yeah.
South Africa has got so much to give. I don't know how much you travel, but I sometimes I'm saddened by how much potential we have and aren't realizing as a country. But yes, infrastructure is the trigger of all things.
What excites you about the future of the construction industry in South Africa?
I think we tease this next generation, but I think that there is an excitement. They come without the burden of what our parents and maybe even ourselves had to be bothered by, that basic need of food, hair, shelter. They're coming in from a place of having already existed where that was always secured. And the next tier of things to look forward to is how we can make this country better. And if you secure in the basic needs, there's so much potential that maybe then they can go on and realize and make this country better for us without being concerned about those basic needs, which I think have been a distraction for the current generation that's in leadership,
Because it's more survival
Yes. Led.
mode,
Yes.
and not then able to be in creation mode.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, exactly that.
Okay.
So they are molded in a space where survival isn't an issue. It's now about creation. And it's now about taking it to the next step.
I love it. And what worries you about the future of construction in South Africa?
The loss of our own homebred skill and the hemorrhaging of skill, where we're losing well-trained, well-experienced professionals to other countries, and the influx of other nations which may not have the best interests of our country at heart.
Sure. Okay. Regulation. And I don't, sometimes we don't pay attention, right, to regulation or even policy that is in our space, not understanding what it enables us to do, what it prohibits us from doing. If there was one policy or regulation or even a practice that you would change in your space, what would that be?
Wow, that's a beautiful question and a very tough question. I've never had to question myself on that, but I do think that there needs to be an approach that looks at, I'll take maybe the winemakers as an example to answer your question. When that passionate winemaker decides, this is it, this is what I'm going to invest my life in, it is not for the self, but it is for the future generations. I think if we had a mindset of long-term thinking and a view of generations to come in mind as opposed to ourselves, a less selfless approach, we would set up this country for success, not only for ourselves, but for generations to come. But that first generation of that winemaker may not realize the fruits of his labor. Maybe not even the second, but the third.
Oh my goodness. Hey.
Reaps the rewards in perpetuity. If you get what I'm saying.
How?
Perpetuity.
I mean, so, and I'm trying to reflect on the generation before us. If they had, I don't know if this is a product of that survival mode, or if it's a product of greed, or if it's a product of, some level of entitlement in our generation that just wants to we want to plant the seed today. We want it to grow and we get the fruits today, and all of the fruits for me.
Now.
Yes.
Now.
All of the fruits for me now. And when we reflect on the generations that are coming behind us, then I'm only thinking about my children. And I'm not thinking about the community. I'm not thinking about a group of people. I'm not thinking about the country.
Yes.
What is that a product of? I mean, is the generation before us, was it like us?
That's an interesting question. My God, you are throwing this curveball at me.
I think before you actually reflect on it, I mean, in my mind, as I'm asking, I'm actually thinking, okay, when you look at it, actually, in Parliament,
yes,
there's generations before us. So it's not just us. It didn't start with us. So then this survival mode, this greed, this, because I mean, that is what corruption is born of. That is what eating without, fear or favor is born of. I must eat all the fruits from this tree, me and my family. And today, tomorrow, I'm going to find another tree.
the rest can see what they do with themselves.
Yes. And what we leave then when we are no longer in the positions that we hold, what becomes of that entity that I was, given the responsibility of caretaking over, what becomes of the country, we really don't, I don't know, we don't care.
I still have hope though that our kids aren't born of that era. They might be reaping the benefits from it in that there's instant gratification. But it is not coming from a place of survival. And I think that was my point earlier, is that the future is positive if you consider that our kids are not operating from survival mode. They are operating from abundance. And if there is abundance around you, they can therefore be focused on the right things. Development, future-proofing this country of ours. Planning with the next generation in mind, and the next and the next. Not self and instant results that prove to reward self.
So with one of the concerns that you raised earlier about the exit of skills, do you think that we are building a sufficient talent pool that is going to drive infrastructure in the next 10 to 20 years?
I think in our own little corners, but there's not enough of us doing that. The environment is also not conducive. I'll speak to my industry and my own lived experience. I mean, I've said this before, the margins that we operate with are so tight that it forces you into, again, that survival mode of just being able to make sure jobs are kept. Salaries are paid. People have got space to come into work the next day. In my time of getting into the industry, they were training schools funded, and these were platforms that people could be sent, bricklayers could be sent for a long period of time and come back into an environment where business still carried on while you were sent out for training. The room to be able to create spaces for that and time for that isn't quite there. And I hope that, as is with nature, there will come a point where this balances itself back. And we can recalibrate so that we can focus on more sustainable ways of protecting this industry and growing it. And I think with the conducive space, it is possible.
Okay. From a GVK-Siyazama's lens, what does empowerment and people development look like?
So we've got a very vigorous people management system, we call it. From onboarding all the way to project delivery, and again, just a performance management strategy with the individuals in our business. And it starts with what we call career conversations, which happen every regular season with our employees, and it's also not fixed. If an employee needs to have that one-on-one formal conversation with their HOD or their line manager, it's encouraged. It is recorded. And from there, we collate this with an intention of understanding the needs that can be met for many. And each one teach one. That is our modus operandi. I still find moments to go to sites and to identify those talented young stars and set up regular meetings to coach and to mentor, to get to the point where I too have paid it forward, like somebody did with me.
Yeah.
Hey, Sissy Paul.
Is that one of the youngsters?
It's just one of the youngsters, and it's a young lady, and I'm biased towards them because, as I say, the industry needs more women. Who else can do it better than us?
Absolutely.
If you want anything done,
absolutely
ask a woman.
And this is something that always fascinates me. So this young lady, Sisipo, right? She's got the MD's attention, and she's not the only one who's in the environment. There are some, but not all of them will get, that attention. I was celebrating recently one of the interns that we placed in one of the, companies, and she's been there for only a few months. And they just saw that, this is a star. And they offered her a role in that business.
Yes.
How do young people position themselves so that you get the attention of the MD?
For the young person listening to this, trust yourself. Trust yourself even as you make mistakes.
Yeah.
Ask the questions. No question is too stupid, but choose who you ask.
Because some people are going to tell you.
Yes. And, I used to always say to my sister, don't ask loudly on the table what you want to order. Quickly check it on Google. Take a shot of this menu item and check it on Google. Don't ask. Don't embarrass yourself. It is true. There are certain things that obviously in a wrong sort of space.
Yeah.
Some people may expect you to know, especially with our industry, that there's so much expectation.
Yeah.
But there are always people who will give the ear, who will offer the advice. Find your person and lean on them. That is my advice. Find that person who's in a leadership role, lean on them, and give your best self.
Yeah.
Give your best self every single day. You will be noticed. If you just do the right things right, you ask the questions, you look for that advice, you will be seen. You will be seen.
Transformation, what does that look like for the construction industry? What would we like to see change or at least get more of?
Women.
Yeah.
Young people. They have a lot to add. They have, you and I laugh about it, but try doing homework with your children. You would fail that grade 7. You and I would fail grade 7 dismally. These children know things that I could never. So that innovation they come with in knowing technology, knowing the tools that make life a whole lot easier, we should embrace it.
Yeah.
Young people have a lot to offer. But also, so do those who are older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have space for those with experience, with a wealth of experience, to pass it on. And I've got a very dynamic business. I've got young kids coming in from university and technicons all the way to 72-year-olds that are still in the business, sharing knowledge and making sure that there's continuity and that there's sustained skill set even as they leave the business. So it's all of that diversity in its true sense.
When we look at success for a construction business, and I guess it would be a combination. Is it more of technical know-how or really just relationship management?
Both. equally important.
Mm.
Sometimes most people would lean on relationship management.
Yeah.
It works up to a point.
Mm.
You still need to deliver.
Yeah.
I strongly support the existence of both in balance within a system or a business.
Sure.
Not everybody's going to be talented at relationship management. And again, not everybody's going to be, the stickler for detail, the one who makes sure there's follow through on every process. But the maverick and the nerd can coexist. Just look at Steve Jobs and I forget, the name doesn't want to come to me now, the partner in the business. There was synergy.
Yeah.
And those two things can coexist. Talent and skill.
Okay. We've gone through tough economic times. I was worried now with this, what is this, the hunters, and I was like, oh my gosh, we can't have another, lockdown
Pandemic.
because literally we would not survive that. What separates the businesses that go through those times and weather those storms to the businesses that don't? Or is it just a question of, luck?
Definitely not just luck. In any event, what is the definition of luck? Preparation meets opportunity. So it goes back to what we spoke of earlier on resilience, and having a mindset of never giving up.
Yeah.
And once you frame all things from the right mindset and vision, you can then set in place steps that ensures that that direction is followed, of making sure you survive and weather those storms.
We like the hustle. We are in the period of hustle culture. What do professionals misunderstand about business? I mean, the of course it's attractive, right? It's glamorous. I'm a business owner. I am self-employed. What do professionals misunderstand about business, or at least downplay?
Yesterday's success doesn't mean it will be repeated tomorrow. Rent is due.
Every day. Every day. You're right.
Every day.
Salaries.
The rent is due every day, and I mean that more as a phrase. Rent is due every day, so you gotta hustle. Not once you've won it. That's it. No. Having brought the bird in hand is better than two in the bush. So that hustle of going to get those in the bush that you can see, there's 100 birds in the bush that I can get.
Yeah.
Look after the bird in hand. And the rest will sort itself out. But it is that constant appreciation of the fact that you've got to put in the work and it doesn't stop.
Once you have, look after the bird in hand, yes. But you're still then thinking about the 100 that are flying
in the bush. Chase those ones too, while you look after the one you have.
So intimidation about the industry, a young woman looking to become, to take your seat, right, in the future. And I know that, there are some people who get intimidated by that, but I get the sense that you're not that person. You would want to groom someone to chase you out of your job. So that young woman who is looking at the role that you are holding, she's intimidated about the construction industry, even intimidated about the title and what it requires. What advice would you give her?
There's nothing to be intimidated about. There's absolutely nothing. Life in itself is intimidating. Take it by the horns.
Yeah.
And ask yourself, if you were a man, what would you do? And so if they can do it, why can't you?
Take it by the horns. Who was that young lady that you were greeting earlier?
Sisipo, grab it by the horns.
What one skill that anyone who wants to get into construction must absolutely have?
Sure. I would say
Or even trait?
strength.
Mm.
Strength of character.
Mm.
You will be tested constantly, but you've got to find that thing
Oh,
that says,
my goodness.
get up again tomorrow.
As you're saying strength, I'm just, again, envisioning that, you're in a boardroom and there are these guns and there's these people. So it must require that, it must require that.
Yeah, I'm also trying to make it seem attractive. So it sounds.
I mean, you've been here for over 20 years, so it must be rewarding somewhat.
It is rewarding. I think from a success point of view, our industry does have, I want to say financial, but I would rather maybe say there is prosperity in our industry.
Yeah.
And unlike maybe other professions where, let's say, maybe the academia space,
Sure,
or even medical space, it takes a while. Our industry recognizes talent and rewards accordingly. There can be growth, and there might be these challenges, but there are also the rewards.
Sure.
And I think if you stay the course, it as with most things in life, you shall be seen and rewarded accordingly.
Okay. All right. So the final question that we got from the guest we hosted previously: strategy or execution? For you, which one? And I know that you need to have both, but Nje.
I can't choose. I would never. Start with strategy. Then you execute. It's a relay. I always say business is a relay. What is the vision? Okay. Feed the pipeline. Who does that?
Yeah.
Then you execute. So it starts with strategy. And implementation of that strategy. But the two go together. There's no ways you can go and execute what? What? For what end? To what end?
Or just strategize.
We can be philosophizing here. Who's gonna pay the rent?
We're all just dreaming,
strategizing till the cows come home. No. So the two live symbiotically together.
And as a leader, which two, the hard and the soft? Because I mean, a lot of the times, right, from women, naturally expect, the soft. And then you are surprised, okay, not surprised. And then when they come with a little bit of hard texture, because that may be required in some instances, then you're like, she's acting like a man.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing not because it's funny, but it is so relevant in my day to day.
Yeah.
But please let me not be rude.
Yeah.
Finish your question.
So, hard or soft?
That's not fair. We all want to be soft. We all want to exude that softness.
Yeah.
Environment dictates. The strategy of where you want to take the business dictates. And you've got to lean on what works best as you extract talent out of people, because you are a leader of not this thing called the business. It's a leadership of people.
Sure.
And people are all different. Kululwa needs me to be soft in this moment.
Yeah.
But when the business is suffering and she's not seeing it, and I have been soft,
Yeah.
I should then be able to tap into the push mode. And that's where maybe the tougher side of us comes out.
Sure.
But I must say, as women, there's almost an expectation to constantly source from the soft nature. And when you are not, it is an unpleasant surprise for those around you.
Yeah.
It's a balance. And I myself cannot say I've mastered it, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But I do know that there are moments when one has to lead from feminine energy. And there's times when the business needs me to drive, to drive delivery and to drive execution. And that is not always going to come from my feminine energy.
Wow. Sure. That brings us to the end. And I must say, we have never heard this much hammering outside these walls. And I'm hoping that it does not come through in this recording, because it must be, So I'm thinking for you, I mean, I'm sure you operate with hammers and drills and all of those sounds, and you are still able to focus. But it must be because they know that we've got a construction queen in the room. Let us just do. But thank you for taking the time. I know we've been trying to set this up. I'm glad that we finally had the chance to sit and have this conversation.
Thanks, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
And to those young women out there, she said there is no reason to be intimidated. And I hope that, you took that to heart and really just grab the bull by the horns and get on with it. Thank you for staying with us right through to the end of our conversation. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and share the conversation, most importantly, with your community so that we all learn together. Bye.
Bye.